The Giants just wrapped up training camp practice number 5, and we're going to break it down on today's show as the offensive line with the first day of pads on. They won the day. Also, Cam Skattebo, he's made highlight after highlight after highlight. Brian Dable talked about him. He got reps with the first-team offense, and he continued to make more highlights. And Dexter Lawrence, I know we haven't talked a lot about him. Kind of just been taking it slow, bouncing back from the injury. He's still the real deal. We'll break down what Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart did today, as it was more of a run-focused day as the pads are on. And we have some unfortunate injury news to talk about that broke yesterday. Bryce Ford-Wheaton, we're all feeling bad for you, and prayers are up. We're only 12 days away from preseason game number 1. I'm sure we'll see Russell Wilson. I know we're going to see Jameis Winston and a lot of Jackson Dart. And we're going to be live here on the channel with one of our watch parties. I don't want you to miss it. So subscribe and turn those notifications on. Football may not be back, but it is right around the corner. As you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. It's like the stages of football being back. Training camp, pads are on at training camp, the Hall of Fame game, and then the preseason, in my opinion, is the official kickoff of football being back. But with the pads being on today, we got to see an up-close and personal look at this offensive line. We all know it's been the talking point around this team for far too long, and really the Achilles heel of this team. But with the pads on, we got to see them go toe-to-toe against what we are calling the best offensive line, or the best defensive line in all of football. Shout to Talking Giants. Shout to Justin Pennick. They have boots on the ground at 1925 Giants Drive, and they posted a 5-minute video of every single one-on-one rep of the offensive line versus the defensive line. Go check that out. And as you see, former Giant Justin Pugh, he quote tweeted that. And congrats on the retirement, Justin. He said, O-line, they won the day. And I agree. I thought in those reps, the offensive line got the best of the defensive line, except when Abdul Carter was ready to roll. And we're going to show you some video. And we'll start with this one of Evan Neal working at both guard spots in his one-on-one reps. And I thought he looked good. I thought he looked comfortable. I thought he looked confident as well. And if the Giants offensive line is going to take that next step and be who we are all hoping they can be, it might need to be Evan Neal in that starting offensive line. And I'm getting really optimistic about him actually turning out to be a pretty solid guard in the National Football League. You could see him working here in the one-on-ones. Great anchor, good base. He's always had that punch power. He's good in the run game. It's just when he's on that island in a one-on-one pass blocking situation, he could be lost. This is the current starting offensive line. We haven't seen Andrew Thomas out there. As we know, he's on the physically unable to perform list. He did some stretching prior to practices over the weekend, so I think we're getting closer and closer to him returning. But I do think there is a world where maybe John Michael Schmitz isn't the starting center, and you move Greg Van Roten to center, and Runyon bounces to right guard, and you play Evan Neal at left guard, and that might be the best 5 offensive linemen. John Michael Schmitz did not practice all that well over the weekend, struggled with the snap. I thought he looked much better today. With the pads on, he looked to just be a little bit better. There was a play specifically that I saw that I liked a lot. It was a screen pass to the left to Cam Skattebo, I believe, and he got out in space, and he eventually put Bobby Okereke in the dirt. We've seen JMS when he's out in space and he's able to use that lateral quickness that he has. He's actually been at his best. It's when he's getting bull rushed or trying to work in the run game that he has struggled with his play strength. But we saw in that play, and the video is on Twitter. You can go check it out. He looked good moving in space, getting out there and putting Okereke in the dirt. First day of pads, and the Giants offensive line won. We could have came into today's video talking about how bad the Giants offensive line looked in the first day of padded training camp practice because Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns absolutely dominated. And while Dexter Lawrence had some plays, we'll show you those, and Abdul Carter has hit moments, and obviously Kayvon and Burns had theirs. The offensive line, they held their own, and I would say they won the day against the Giants defensive line, and that is big. That's what you want to hear. Another big storyline for me is I think Cam Skattebo is getting closer and closer and closer to being RB1 on this football team. It seems like every day at practice we're getting a new Skataboo highlight. Some being receiving, some being rushing. But with the pads finally on today, we got to see how hard of a runner he is and how hard he was to bring down. Shout out to Justin Pennick again at Talking Giants. He let us play this video as well as the one of Evan Neal earlier. Go support Talking Giants. Go give him a follow on Twitter. They are absolutely crushing it. But you see right here, Skattebo with the pads on, not being brought down really all that easily. And the thing that's always popped off the page to me is his vision, his ability to diagnose what the defense is in, where they are, and he's able to find green grass where they are not. We know he runs hard. We know he's got that start and stop ability, that jump cut, as some people like to call it. But it's in between the ears that I love about his game. He's a smart, high IQ football player with great vision. He's able to pace his runs really well. And I think there's a world where number 44 actually ends up being the starting running back for the Giants. Maybe not week 1, but by week 18, I think that's going to happen. Dan Salomon, who works for the Giants, saying this: Brian Dable, this was before practice today, is looking forward to seeing running back Cam Skattebo in pads. The rookie is, quote, physical, first and foremost, but has good hands and soft hands. Like Abdul Carter, Dable said Skattebo's instincts really show up on tape. And that's kind of what I've been impressed about. We know he's going to run through people. He's going to run through arm tackles, the yards after the catch, the contact balance, all that. The receiving skills have popped off the page for me early on in training camp for Skataboo. And he's also impressing his teammates. That's a big milestone, I would say, for rookie players. Like, it's one thing to go out as a rookie and play well, but when you have guys like Brian Burns, who's on a $150 million contract, all-pro type of level talent, taking notice of who you are, I think that speaks volumes about where this guy is at. Burns saying on Skataboo, I like his dog. He's not talking about his dog. He's talking about that dog he's got inside of him. I like that edge to him, and I feel like he's going to be about what he says. So he's got the confidence, he's got the swag, and he's backing it up, and the veterans on the team, they're taking a liking to the rookie. I don't want to act like Tyrone Tracy is not having a good camp. He is having a good camp. Just Skataboo has looked that good. Skataboo. Tyrone Tracy had a really nice long run today as well. Nice cutback, got into green grass, bounced off a couple of tacklers, ran down the left sideline, and we know what he's about. He's a really good player. He's still learning the running back position. And the idea that this Giants running back room is bad, I think is just wrong. I like Motor Singletary, and as an RB3, there's some juice there. Skataboo's going to be a stud. We know that. Tyrone Tracy, he looked really good in year 1. I think he's only going to get better in year 2. I'm confident, and I'm excited to see this running back room. But I do think it is Skataboo's job. I think Cam is going to be sooner rather than later the RB1, and I think by this time next year we'll be talking about him being the workhorse for this team. It's just because that's how special of a player he is. He fits the mindset of this team, and I'm just really excited to see what he's going to be able to do on Sundays. And, Dexter Lawrence, he's still Dexter Lawrence. Shout out to Justin Pennick and Talking Giants. Again, you can see number 97 right there blowing up a play even before it gets going. Motor just met in the hole by Dex. Lawrence just gets engaged with the block, disengages, and does what he does, which is make plays at the line of scrimmage. It's almost felt like, because of how much praise we've given Abdul Carter, how we've talked about year 4, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns' second year here, that Dexter Lawrence has flown under the radar, and partially because he's rehabbing that injury that knocked him out for the rest of the season last year. But with more money coming in on his contracts via incentives, and him being healthy, he is going to once again show why he is the best defensive player in football, in my opinion. And he's going to be flanked by 51, 0, number 5, and it's going to make his life a lot easier. There is not many players on earth that can make what he did in that clip look as easy as he did. He's a special, special player, and I don't know. I'm drinking a lot of Kool-Aid. This team is really just feeling different. It really, really is. And number 97, he's a big part of that. A couple more things we got to talk about. We'll talk about the quarterbacks. We got to talk a little bit more about Bryce Ford Wheaton. But first, get this T-shirt today. The deal is not going to last forever. 50% off. Was $40. Now it's $20. And you can get it by going to chatsports.com/Giants sale. That's chatsports.com/Giants sale. Shout out to Bobby Skinner of the Giants Nation show. He is crushing it down there. Salute to all the content creators You guys are awesome. I mean, all those content creators, the Giants guys, the official Giants account, man, they're just getting awesome content out there. There's no way Bobby and Justin and everybody out there are doing better. Still a joke. But QB stats day 5. A lot of run stuff, like he talks about. Not much to take away from either. Big running day with some screens mixed in. And with the pads on, that's kind of what we expected. Some inside run. We're working 11-on-11 run periods, and that's what you want to see. Russell Wilson, though, 3 of 4. Jackson Dart, 4 of 6. Dart had a really nice run where it was like a play-action bootleg to the right. Got open in green grass, beat the contain of Kayvon Thibodeau, and he slid out of bounds to avoid contact. Pretty nice to see a quarterback do that wears a Giants jersey. Bad news of today, and it actually broke yesterday. Bryce Ford-Wheaton, he was an undrafted free agent signed by the Giants back following the 2023 NFL draft, and his season is going to be over before it even starts. He suffered a torn Achilles at practice, and my heart breaks for Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He had a major injury last year, a major injury yet again this year, and this is a guy that we could talk about the football player he is, but it seems like he's extremely liked within the locker room. Brian Dable said, my heart breaks for the kid, and it stinks. Injuries suck, and they're brutal, and it stinks. Bryce Ford-Wheaton saying, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't devastated. I did everything by the book. Didn't take a single shortcut. Left no stone unturned, invested everything into my body and my health this year. I'm not sure why me, but I promise I'm not going out on these terms. It's a long road ahead, for sure. But I know this is just part of God's plan for me, no matter how tough it may seem right now. Thank you for all of your prayers. Please continue to keep me in them. I will be back. That's a promise. God gives his toughest battles to his toughest and strongest soldiers. And prayers up for Bryce Ford-Wheaton. And now this wide receiver room looks a little bit different. And a signing could be coming. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that on the second video from today. But Bryce Ford-Wheaton, his season is over. Another major injury for him. And like Brian Dable said, your heart, it just has to break for the guy. Show Bryce Ford-Wheaton some love. Type those 88s. I'll never forget the blocked field goal against the Seattle Seahawks last year with the scoop and score for Bryce Ford-Wheaton for the win. Show him some love. Speedy recovery. We're thinking about you, my man. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow, and let's go Big Blue.